Hi, everybody. Welcome to my Lupus living room. This is Suzanne Tierney, the president and CEO of the Lupus Foundation of America's Great Ohio Chapter. And as usual, I love when people visit me, especially people who have lupus and are on a mission. Today in my living room, we have Kim Winthrow, and she has an interesting story. Welcome, Kim. How are you?
I'm great, Suzanne. How
Thank
are
you for
you?
I'm okay, and thanks for visiting, and thanks for coming and talking to us.
My
And
pleasure.
you have lupus.
I do.
And you're beautiful. And I know
Oh,
you
thank
don't
you
want to
so
hear, you
much.
don't want to hear, but you don't look sick, right?
Well, that's good. I don't want to
And
look
she has a
sick.
t-shirt on that says, I am not lazy. I have lupus. I love it.
Yes,
I
me
love
too.
it. So Kim, why are you here today? Tell us what's going on.
I am a lupus survivor, and I should say warrior because it's a daily fight, as you
There you
know.
go.
Um, I've had lupus now since I was, they put you in a category until
Mm-hmm.
your antigens start to become positive. So I was kind of shoved in a category since I've been about 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've been fighting, and every time I would get a symptom, they would say, "Oh yeah, that's probably lupus, but we have
So
to
you
wait."
didn't get a concrete diagnosis right away.
No,
You were in that that
no,
line. Okay.
I got stuck in that
Mm-hmm.
category until December of 2000,
Okay.
and um, it was actually my fertility doctor that gave me in January of 2001 said, "Oh, you have the antigen, um, the anti, not the antiphospholipid. I just was diagnosed with that.
Anti-nuclear antibodies. Okay.
Um, I was positive for the ANA for the longest time since 91.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but became positive for the first clotting with the anticardiolipin
Mm-hmm.
antigen. So they said, okay, you definitely have lupus. Um, so they just put me on a whole aspirin at that
Did
time.
you do you have children?
No, I
No.
couldn't have
Okay.
I
That's
couldn't
right.
have kids because of
Okay. The clotting.
the
Okay.
the lupus.
Just so that you know, sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes there are miscarriages with antiphospholipid antibodies or coagulation issues. There's blood clots, but sometimes an aspirin a day is all you need,
Hmm.
you know? Okay. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to
So
interrupt.
no,
Okay.
that's
Sure.
okay. So as the years went along, I ended up having the heart involvement. I am now stage 3 kidney disease. So that's why my wonderful, wonderful rheumatologist, Dr. Van Warren
He
from
has
UH.
he has a long history with this organization. He's a good doctor.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone out there needs a rheumatologist, seek him out because I'm telling you, he is wonderful. He saved my life many a times.
Mm.
He found my heart problem. He made sure he addressed my kidneys. Um, my renal doctor didn't think I needed a biopsy, but Dr. Warren insisted. So Dr. Warren set it up himself. And thank God he did because I ended up having the antiphospholipid
Mm-hmm.
antigen. And right after that, I was in the hospital with multiple blood clots in my left arm. I had 3 veins um, that were affected with DVTs. And if I hadn't went in when I did, they told me the next day I probably would be dead because the one clot was very close to my heart. And
Well, I can say I'm delighted to hear a patient say they love their doctor. Okay, that really makes me warm and fuzzy.
I
Um,
adore him. Oh my
that
gosh.
is really great news. And I would encourage everyone, if you don't have that type of relationship, not that you run to Dr. Warren, but you find it. Okay, or maybe you work better on the relationship you have with your doctor, because that's golden.
Oh
Good for
yeah.
you. Good for you.
He's just, like I said, he's awesome. And he keeps check. I mean, looks at your labs. He keeps check on it. He
Mhm.
watches. I mean, he watches me like a hawk. And I'm not your typical patient. I don't respond like a normal person does. Um, I'm
What's
like,
normal anymore?
well,
I don't even know
exactly,
what that is.
exactly. But I'm always opposite. And one of the other doctors I used to work, I'm a retired pediatric RN.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I had to medically retire because the lupus became so severe that I couldn't I couldn't work as a
Mhm.
nurse anymore because it started to affect my brain as far as like memory wise. I couldn't think of words. It's like I knew what it was, but I couldn't tell you what it was.
So you may have heard this, our audience may have heard as lupus fog or cognitive dysfunction, or I've heard some other vulgar names for this stuff too, but I'm not going to, or have CRS, which is can't remember that SHIT word. How's that? Okay. So, all right. So you retired pediatric nurse. Wow. That's impressive. Hard work, passionate work, dedicated work.
Loved it.
Thank you for all the work you've
Oh,
done.
you're
That's
welcome.
great. It's
But I
great.
loved it. I loved those kids. Those
Mm-hmm.
were my kids.
Sure.
Um, so I worked in the hospital and then I went into home care and I did that for 14 and a half
Oh my
years.
God, another thankful to you. Thank
Oh,
you, thank you.
like I said, those kids were my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to have really strong relationships with them, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of your kids that you saw for a long time and they survived, you know, they would invite me to their
Sure, lot to
graduations,
celebrate.
different things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but then Cleveland Clinic ended up, they got rid of their pediatric department and home care. So I ended up, my last job was, I was a QA nurse for, we did, it was a private MCO that we did the medical part for the workers' comp.
Mm-hmm.
And even with that, like I said, with my memory and everything, I just got so sick that I just couldn't do it anymore.
I understand.
And shortly after that, I had my hips replaced, and it just
Oh
seemed
my
like one
hips,
thing.
is that plural?
Hips,
Oh my Lord.
bilateral hips.
Oh my goodness. And you're
And
so tiny. What was wrong with your hips?
I had the, you know, the degeneration where from the steroids,
Mm-hmm.
it just completely ate my bone,
Okay.
especially on the left. I had the ball was gone. It was
Wow.
completely flat.
Wow.
So I had to have that one done first.
Okay.
And then about a year and a half later, I had the right one done. But you could hear my hip click from
Wow.
the other room. It was really
I know.
bad.
I can't imagine. I have lupus pain. I can't imagine having hip pain on top of it. It's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
it
lot.
was. So, I mean, I was only, I had to, it was 2014. So I've already been out 10, almost 11 years. 11 years will be July. So I was
Mm-hmm.
really young and I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I
Well,
love
what
being a
did you do?
nurse.
How did you get by? So, you're young, you're working, you have disease. What would you tell people? What did you learn from your journey? How would you tell people to make it a better journey? Because life's lessons are really
Well,
teaching tools for all of us.
they really are. I mean, there was no other job. Nursing was all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you can't, there was different things that in your life, maybe hobbies or things that you used to do that you can't do anymore. So you obviously have to just almost reinvent yourself to find different things that you like to do. Um, because by the time I went, you know, retire, I say retired. I don't like the word disabled, so I said medically retired. Um, I was at that time I had to be on a walker and a
Mm-hmm.
cane, obviously, because I couldn't. I was at a point where it was really hard for me to walk. And I wasn't used to that, and I was very proud.
Sure.
And I didn't want to be,
But you wanted to walk.
yeah.
So sometimes we do.
So
Sometimes we do what we got to do, and you make the best of it.
absolutely, I had to
Yeah.
swallow my pride, and
Yeah.
that wasn't the first time. Years before, when I first started seeing Dr. Warren, I actually got to start seeing Dr. Warren by accident because I started seeing Dr. Ascari.
Oh, my hero.
Yes, he was. And he was so funny because they had scheduled me with Dr. Warren because Dr. Ascari didn't have
Room.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then I ended up staying with Dr. Warren. Nothing against Dr. Ascari, but Dr. Warren, I
Not a
just
bad
loved
choice. Yeah,
him.
not a bad choice for either of them.
And but Dr. Ascari, because I was so close to being in a wheelchair, they put me on methotrexate, which is a chemo drug.
Mhm.
That was the last ditch effort to try to keep me out of a wheelchair. And I'm like, okay, it made me sicker than a dog.
Mhm.
And here's me, I'll just be brave and take it at work. I work 3 to 11. And so I decided, okay, I'll just take it at work. Anybody that is getting ready to go on methotrexate, yeah, don't do the stupid thing like I did. Get something for nausea with it, and don't try to take it at work because that's the worst thing you can do. So after that,
Yeah, I don't know that I would try any new medication where I have a schedule to follow. I would probably start on a weekend. I'd
yeah,
probably start on a weekend.
yeah, that was not
Yeah.
the smartest thing I did, and it also happened to be um,
So
they
you
they had,
weren't on it long, is what you're telling
no, I
me.
was on it for 20 years,
Oh my goodness.
but I
Okay.
learned it happened to be like a pig roast day
Mhm.
at the hospital, and to this day I cannot eat pork
Mm.
that smells like
You have a sensitivity.
that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no.
So, but then it must have become your friend because you're on it for a long time.
I was
Mhm.
until um I got a nice bleeding ulcer in
Mhm.
my small intestine.
Okay.
And after that, and my GERD became so bad that I was banned from all NSAIDs, anything that would hurt my stomach
Sure.
like
I
that.
have ulcers in my esophagus
Yeah.
just because of various different medications. So, it's trial and error. You
Yeah.
live, it is a practice,
Yes.
But I have to say, people today, since COVID, we have a new arsenal of drugs that are exciting that we didn't have. I certainly didn't have when I was early diagnosed. We tried everything with me, just aspirin therapy, gold salt shots. I mean, I was the world's first guinea pig, I think, for lupus, but I'm still here, so that's the good news.
Right.
And
Exactly.
Plaquenil is my friend.
Mine too.
He is my friend.
Mine too. And I think that's what helped me with through the COVID because Dr. Warren was very, you know,
I think, in my opinion, and this isn't medically sound, but I think most of us that were on it, lupus may have had an extra little safeguard because I don't know a lot of lupus patients that had COVID. I mean, I did get it at the tail end, but it wasn't a
I
big
got it
deal.
too.
And yet, I have family members who have passed from it, a niece who was on life support, and so I don't know. I don't know, but I know when they were touting it as a miracle drug, the state had to surrender it because it didn't. They weren't going to use it as that. But okay, so you have lupus. You had your hips replaced. You became medically, you didn't call it disabled. You call it medically retired, which is
Yes.
cute. I like that one. Okay. And here you are today, and you got a special project going on. And so, for those of you that are listening on the radio and you can't see us, I'm sitting across from this perky little, tiny little lady, long blonde hair, blue. Are they
Blue
blue,
eyes.
green,
Blue
blue
eyes.
eyes, pink lips, and she's pretty as could be. Tell them what you're doing.
Well, I am running for Miss Ohio for America Strong. It's part of the Mrs. America system. And my platform, obviously, is lupus awareness.
Mhm.
So if I win, I have bigger,
Platform.
yes, platform than just me, Kim. And yes, I do have a big mouth, but I'll have a bigger mouth because I'll have a bigger speaking stage, so to speak, and I can get lupus awareness out there more. And that's my goal because so many people don't know about lupus.
This
They
is
don't
true.
know what
They've
it
heard of it.
is.
We've done a really good, the Lupus Foundation has done a great job of spreading it out there, creating awareness. So either you've heard of it now or you know someone who has it, but most of the population still don't know what it is.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So we all know here, and if you're listening to this, you know what lupus is, but I'm going to shout it out anyway. It is an autoimmune disease. Okay. It can virtually affect any organ system in your body. There are no two lupus patients alike. It's not
No.
a cookie cutter disease. And oftentimes you can't see the havoc going on in our bodies. Even if
Oh,
you're watching, you're looking at us going, oh, those two girls, there ain't nothing wrong with them. Well, I know I'm popping 27 legal pills a day. And I know that I get pain and fatigue and hair loss and
yes.
confusion and all kinds of awful things happen to me. And you just feel sick, like you have the flu all the time. I do get a few great hours out of the day, and I am on overcharge, which don't do that. That's not a good idea.
Right.
Don't do what I do. Okay, I'm not the best patient to follow. But you can get lupus of any organ system, and of course, when it reaches your kidney or brain, it's very serious. And we know now that there's proof that the cardiovascular system is involved, and we have to be cognizant now of also. We usually every several months we get our blood work, we get our urine work, and don't be surprised if they're looking at your heart. Okay, because
Right.
that constant inflammation is causing problems.
Right.
For those people that are newly diagnosed, we encourage you to stay off Dr. Google. Okay,
Yeah.
that you reach out to the Lupus Foundation, no matter where you're at. We cover the state of Ohio, and that we have a closet full of resources and good information. And if when you do get to that doctor, please don't play Dr. Google in front of them. You
No.
go to a doctor, and I've said this before, and these are complaints we're getting is they are very annoyed when you walk in there and have a debate with them about what Google says.
Yeah.
You're in front of a specialist. Make sure you see a lupologist or a rheumatologist, and please comply with the plan. Most of us go and don't comply with the plan. Okay. But if you need help understanding lupus, the Lupus Foundation of America stands ready. We have our own Rita, registered nurse here, that teaches the 101 lupus um, class, and I can't imagine embarking on the journey without taking the class. I think you were going to sign up for the
Yes.
class, even though
Yes.
you're seasoned.
Right.
And she wants to use lupus as her platform to bring lupus to the forefront. She's committed to take the class, so she has the latest,
Mm-hmm.
most accurate information to share. And things are constantly changing. Unlike when I was first diagnosed, there was very little research going on, but today, not true. There's a
Right.
ton of research going on. So tell me, so this is called Miss America. What did you say it was,
It's Miss
Miss
Ohio for
Ohio?
America Strong.
And so what is that? What is that? Is it a separate group, and what is their
It's
mission?
it's part of to be to compete for like Miss Ohio.
Mhm.
There's an age limit. It's 18 to I think it's 26.
Mhm.
Um, but Mrs. Ohio America, they added another category for women like me who may have been married already and were divorced, um, or just single women that just have chosen not to get married yet, or even widowed
Widowed.
women,
Mhm.
because they recognize that we still have a lot to offer
Mhm.
and we want to inspire other women, to empower them. And okay, someone like me, um, I would love to empower other women that may have lupus or something else, maybe
Mhm.
diabetes or cancer, that just because you're given a diagnosis with a disease that, yeah, yes,
It's not the end.
right.
Mhm.
Um, and it doesn't mean you have to stop living your life.
Right.
Lupus doesn't define me.
Right.
I defined who I am.
Right. You have lupus. Lupus doesn't have you.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
And, I'm not going to let it defeat me. Yeah, I know it can kill me. And yeah, it can.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to just roll up in a ball and, you know, just sit there and feel sorry for myself, because that's not me anyways. But there's still life you can live. There's still things you can do.
All right, so let's talk about that because I could share that with I can relate to that. Okay, so everybody knows I have lupus. If they don't, then they haven't been watching that long. Okay, so I got sick when I was 9. Wasn't diagnosed until I was 27, and I have an identical twin, and my twin is healthy. Okay, but there has been an incredible journey to get from where I was then to now, and it wasn't easy, and it was lonely, and it was miserable, and it was misunderstood.
Right.
And even though surrounded by this huge Italian family, I still felt very lonely and isolated. And my mother drugged me off, and I went kicking and screaming to the Lupus Foundation. I went to one of the meetings, okay, and I was like, I ain't going to those old sick people. I was just a young girl back then, and my mom was sitting next to me, and they did a call for volunteers. And true story, she raised my hand. She took my hand, and I was like, my life hasn't been the change. It has not been the same since. Okay, um, to be extraordinary, you have to make changes in your life. I was stuck in the fact that they said I was going to die. This is an unknown disease and it would be soon. I was stuck there. Okay. And it wasn't until I went to the Lupus Foundation that I found that maybe I could have a purpose. Maybe I can make a difference. Maybe I can
Right.
give them my 2 cents. Okay. And I became a volunteer on a very small scale. And through the years, as a volunteer, as a committee member, as a board member, as a director, and then executive director to the CEO, who'd have thought that that journey would take me there? Okay.
Right.
And I still have little family businesses with my family along the way that I can't champion on my own. And I need holding up on all fronts.
Right.
I'm honest about that. I can lead, but I might fall, so I need wingmen. Okay, I
Right.
need wingmen, and I have learned that you don't take too much on. Okay, but I learned that I can't do what I used to do. I can't do what my twin does, or what my siblings, or what my friend did.
Right.
And I did have to make new friends because my friends didn't understand what I like. One day you'd be up, one day you would be down. I
Exactly.
couldn't commit. I couldn't go swimming and be in the sun. I couldn't ride bikes or do extreme things like they did. So I did have to make new friends. I didn't kick the other ones to the curb.
Right.
It's just they didn't understand. So my message to people out there is you got a new you. Don't look at the old you
Right.
as being damaged. Okay, you got a new you. Okay, so what focus on the things you can do,
Can do.
not on and I'm going to say it again. Do not focus on what you can't do. You focus on what you
Can do.
can do. And I have a staff member here every once in a while who says, well, we can't do this and we can't do, and it infuriates me.
Right.
It's like a trigger. Don't use can't when you talk to me.
Right.
Okay, I don't care how you dress it up, but don't use that word can't. It's not going to be in my dictionary because I have to move forward.
Right.
The other thing I've learned from therapy, years of therapy, is the glass half full? Is the glass half empty? And we get to choose what that is.
Right.
And how
Exactly.
we choose it will determine the path that we go on. I've had a very full, sick life. Okay. But I have to tell you, I don't know if I would change it if I had a choice. You just used the word extraordinary woman before, and I'm thinking here's two extraordinary women who survived a disease that very few people knew anything about. And here you are trying
Right.
to make a difference, sharing the information. here I am trying to share, make a difference. So, when does this event start? Is there something? Do you need votes? What do you need? Do you need something from us? I mean,
Well,
how is this going to play out? Do you
um,
get to wear a pretty little
oh
dress and a
yeah, I guess
crown, long
yes.
gloves?
Um, well, I will be down there. It's in Mount Sterling, Ohio,
Okay. What
and
part of the state is it? South of Columbus?
it's like a suburb of Columbus. It's
Okay.
right before you get like in
Into
Columbus.
Columbus. Okay.
Um, I will be there on July. I'm sorry, not July. June 12th.
Mm-hmm.
We have a contestants party and
Are there
everything.
a lot of contestants? Do you have a lot of competition?
I believe
I
there's
mean, are
like
brunettes here and blondes there? How's
five.
that work?
You know, I've only met two of the other girls,
Mm-hmm.
and they're sweet as can be. But I believe there are a total of five, maybe, in
Mm-hmm.
my division. The Mrs. division, they are so many of them this year, and I don't. I
I'd
wouldn't be a
love to hear
judge.
all their stories, though, because they all have stories
Oh,
like
they
yours.
do.
Yeah.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all amazing women.
Sure.
I mean, they really
The
are.
fact that they get up, curl their hair, put makeup on and lipstick, I think is incredible. I can't tell you how many lupus patients I know that don't even leave the house.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's so
It's
sad.
sad. We're going to live.
I mean,
We can live painfully.
exactly. Well, we're in pain every day.
Every day.
Well, and I
Well,
have a high tolerance of pain, and
yeah,
I'm sure you
yeah,
do
I do
too.
too. I as well.
So it takes a lot to really um, make me cry. I have my triggers. There's
Mm-hmm.
one, I'm sure you do too,
Oh,
but
I
there's
do. There's a
one
pain.
spot in my back.
This hand here or this hand here. I seldom like to show them. I don't even have my dynamic ring. I don't even have it on because the hand swells so bad.
Yes.
And the pain recently has been like lightning bolts. It's like,
Yes, I
yeah,
hate those.
yeah.
But yeah, I have my trigger points where it's like, okay, I can't take it there. I can't take that. But for the most part, I mean, if people ask me, "How are you?" I'm just like, "Oh, I'm fine. I just have my smile on and
Mhm.
I'm fine." When really you're like, "Oh
You're right.
my
So
god."
Minnie Pro used to say it best. When someone asks you how you are, okay, they're being polite. They don't. Most people really don't want to know how you are.
I know.
So you should just say thanks for asking.
Mhm.
Because I know that some people will go on and on and on and on.
Right.
It's like, oh boy,
And that's me. I'm just like,
it's
"Oh, I'm good.
oh.
Thank you."
I don't say I'm good. I just say thanks for asking.
Uh,
You
I'm
know,
usually just like, "I'm fine." That's my standard answer. "I'm fine. Thanks."
fine. Well, I'm not gonna lie to them. It's just thank you for asking. That's funny. Okay, so you're gonna go down. You're gonna meet these other girls, and so when does this actually happen? This big event?
uh, June 13th is
Mhm.
in the morning is our interview, but the day of the actual pageant where people can come watch
Mhm.
is June 14th.
And that's going to be down south as well.
Hmm.
Nothing's going on up here, right?
No,
Mhm.
not in this area, but
And
it's
then
in
what
the
happens
Columbus.
if you win? Do you go on a little tour? Is there
If
first, second, third place? I have all these questions.
yes, there is.
Okay.
If I win,
Hmm.
I will get to go to Nationals, which is in Las Vegas, and we get to stay at, I believe it's called the Westmore Hotel,
Hmm.
which used to be the International Hotel,
Hmm.
and that is where Elvis came back for his
Tour.
return to tour.
Hmm.
And of course, I am a huge Elvis fan. It's like
Everyone from my generation.
oh my
Yeah.
God. So for
I
me,
asked the kids in the office, "You guys ever heard of Elvis?" And they look at me like, "Hmm." They've heard of him, but they don't care.
oh my gosh.
I don't
Well, we'll
care.
make them
I
care.
don't care.
But
I don't
so
even think they saw Pretty Woman. It's like, what?
okay, well, I admit I have not watched the movie Pretty
Stop
Woman.
it.
I
I can't
haven't.
believe it.
I haven't watched
Pretty
that
Woman
movie.
2 is coming out
Well, I have to watch
with
the first
Julia
one.
Roberts.
No,
Oh
I
my
didn't watch. I
God.
haven't
How about the
watched it.
president's daughter?
No.
With Kate. Oh my gosh, it's painful. All right, what do I know?
I'll have to watch them.
Okay.
I have watched Legally Blonde,
Yes.
and my mom says that I'm the original
You're the
Legally
original.
Blonde.
That was kind, Mom. So, does anybody else in your family have lupus or autoimmune diseases?
Yes. My mama, she had rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And my mom is just now starting to show signs of that. But my mom carries the gene.
Mhm.
And I have, well, obviously I have the gene. So we think, I'm sure my mama did, but my mama's sister, um, she has 9 kids.
Wow.
And just about every one of her kids has some form
Something.
of, they either have lupus, a form of it,
Oh,
or rheumatoid, some
something unidentified.
autoimmune
So there's something
disease.
also called undifferentiated, which means a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and it's cross the line here. We can't get a handle on what's going on.
Yes, but they all have an autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm.
Their brothers have rheumatoid. Both brothers did, and the only
And the
living,
person who had these 9 kids is healthy.
my aunt Oshaline, she had strokes. She
Mm-hmm.
had like a lot of TIAs. But as far as, I can't remember if she had, I don't think she showed signs of rheumatoid arthritis at all.
Can't imagine going through that 9 times and
But
still being
yeah,
healthy. Yeah. Wow.
and the youngest kid is my age. We're 3 months
Mm-hmm.
apart.
Wow.
So our family is like super close because um, the oldest one is like my mom's age.
Mm-hmm.
And so my second cousins feel like my aunts. And my third cousins, we're just so close. And then I know their kids. So we're just all one
Sure.
huge Southern family.
Yeah.
And then, so then my only uncle that's alive, my Uncle Arnold, he lives here. And then his kids, his daughter, Barb, she has lupus severely, and her son has lupus
Oh.
severely.
Are they here in Ohio?
Hmm.
And this is a mother's brother or a father's brother?
This is
How's
my mama's,
your
my
okay.
grandmother's
Interesting.
brothers. So it's my second cousin.
So you were diagnosed with lupus. Where do you think it came from? What's your idea?
Oh, it came from my mama.
Is that who you think came? Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
and my mom. Well,
there's some thoughts of it being environmental.
that is funny you said that. But they did the genetic testing, and my mom has the gene. I had the gene, but um, when I was in Hawaii in '92 for my honeymoon, the doctor said that the gene could have been flipped on by something I came in contact with there.
Environmental trigger.
But I also had a lot of signs of it when I was a teenager.
Did you grow? You said you're from the South. Did you grow up on well water
I grew up on well water in
here?
North Ridgeville.
Okay.
I drank very little of it because I didn't like the taste of it. But my mom cooked with it. And of course,
Mhm.
back then they made Kool-Aid or lemonade,
Sure.
whatever. Um, I had it that way.
Mhm.
But my mama and papa lived in Elyria, and they had, they had city water. I
Mhm.
drank that water, but I didn't like the taste
So
of
we
our well
know
water.
that there were studies going on, and I don't know where now. I remember when Dr. Hess was around from Cincinnati. She had strong views on environmental triggers.
Hmm.
So the question comes back to this twin that I have. Okay, how is it one twin got it and the other twin
Hmm.
didn't? Was there an environmental? Could they both have it, or maybe one twin came in contact with a trigger? I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know, but it's interesting to see what research will bring us. And so the Lupus Foundation, we're all about that. We're all about lupus awareness, research, patient services, advocacy. We have a lot of work to do. So the fact that you want to use your platform to promote
Absolutely.
lupus and to take a class to make sure you got the right information and that you've lived with it. And, that old saying that misery loves company, there's a lot to that cliche. I'm not trying to be cute, but we
No,
love being with
exactly.
other people who understand and have
Yes,
walked in our shoes and can share
exactly.
common things with each other. And I would suggest to our audience, if you don't belong to a lupus community, like a support group or call-in group, or even now we have our own face page group for lupus patients. You asked to be invited. We're only letting patients in. It's a safe place. All these places are a safe place for you to come and share your highs and your lows. And I'm going to
Exactly.
remind you all that when you're low, you come on in. When you're high, you still come on in, because when you're high, you're going to help the guy next to you who helped you when
Exactly.
you were low. Okay, so this is a team effort.
Exactly.
So we'll be looking forward to learning more about you.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to follow her closely. So pay attention to Facebook and our website. And you're going to keep us informed.
Absolutely.
Okay. And when you're
And
out there, do a shout out for our chapter. Give them our website,
absolutely.
our phone
You're
number.
on my Facebook. I do
I am.
post about lupus. And if I could just say, if anyone would like to come down and cheer me on,
Anybody in the area, just
just
let us know the date. You do a shout out on Facebook.
I can get VIP tickets for my
Mhm.
section if anybody wants to come. If you want to go to,
When is this again?
it's June 14th.
June 14th. Okay.
If you can go to my email actually, which is pianokim35@yahoo.com. And that's pianokim35@yahoo.com. And then I can tell you how to get in touch with me. I do have to pick up tickets at, it's on April 27th is when I get tickets for my VIP. They are $50. If you don't want to get them that day, they're $60 at the door.
Okay. Is there a website they can go to for them? Not at this
Uh,
time.
I'm not sure if they
You
can get
would
them.
think.
I
Let
don't
us
know.
know.
You can.
Let us know. We'll put it on our Facebook
Okay.
page. Let us know. So, wow, we have a beauty star here amongst us.
Yay!
I'm so excited. Beautiful inside and out. And she's going to do some, create some awareness for it, much needed awareness. And when you do a shout out, make sure you include that we have the walks coming up.
I did. I put that on my page as well.
We have the walks coming up. And for more information about the chapter or resources, or maybe we can help someone that's out there, we have some barriers to care that we can assist with. And you can go to www.lupusgreaterohio.org, or you can call us at 1-888-NO, that's NO Lupus. And I'm going to remind you of the different support groups. We have a disparity event coming up. May is Lupus Awareness Month, and that's why you moved the Cleveland Walk to May. It's going to be down in the flats. Come on out, bring your friends. I hope you can join us, or at the Columbus Walk. And all the information, all good stuff is on our website. And if you're a lupus patient, you need to be a part of our community.
Absolutely.
No one should do this by themselves. In the word lupus, there's no I, there's an us. You see it? You have questions, we have some of the answers. And thank you for coming. Thanks for making the trip over. We wish you success.
Thank you for having me.
You have a crown on your head, whether it be a silver one or not. All right. Thank you for all that you're going to do, and we wish you well.
Thank you
with
so
your
much.
journey, with the rest of your journey. So thank you, everyone, for being at my Lupus Living Room. As always, this conversation is not about referring or products or telling you how to treat your disease. Your doctor is the best resource to do that. And wishing you well. If you want to join us on our Lupus Living Room, call the office at 1-888-NO-LUPUS, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, there is no I in lupus, but there is an us. Until next time, this has been my Lupus Living Room with the Lupus Foundation of America's Great Ohio Chapter. For more information and resources to help you in your lupus journey, please visit lupusgreaterohio.org or call 1-888-NO-LUPUS. The funding for My Lupus Living Room is an earmark from the state of Ohio and managed by the Ohio Department of Health. Your physician is the best person to help you in the treatment of lupus. The information you learned here today can be discussed with your doctor, as your physician knows your medical history best. Please do not make any medical changes without consulting your physician first. As with any treatment, stay educated and get information from trusted sources.